Here we go, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thanks very much for joining me. You know, in the midst of these unprecedented and crazy times, government shutdown, Trump's devastation of healthcare in America, climate change, the move toward authoritarianism, the horrific war in Gaza, the growth of oligarchy, etc., etc., etc. I want to take a few minutes talking about another issue of enormous consequence that just doesn't get the kind of attention I think it deserves.
I hear people bitching about it all the time.
Everybody agrees that artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics are going to have a transformative impact on our country and the world. There is very little disagreement about that. There are, however, very strong disagreements as to what those impacts will be, who will benefit from these changes, and who will be hurt. So here is my take. Some of the very wealthiest people in the world, including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and others, are now investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars into these revolutionary.
Hear me out. Excuse me. If you're a rich person, right, and you're really, you're pretty good. You're a rich person, which already means that you're already like kind of good with money in a way. At least for people that didn't just like inherit it, right? Like business people, they're already like pretty good with money, and they're pretty good at like kind of investing and creating stuff in the first place, right? So let me tell you something. If you existed like, I don't know, like in the 60s, okay, and you knew what you knew now about computers, and computers were about to come out, and you're like, holy shit, computers are gonna change fucking everything. And if you went back in time, would you not invest in computers? Yeah. So, okay, so like the rich people invested in AI because it's the new frontier of like technology. It's the next big leap, basically. The people invested they invested in computers, they invested in smartphones, they invested all the way up. Obviously you would invest in it. So like rich people investing in AI is just like a given. It just makes sense. This isn't like some crazy fucking conspiracy or whatever.
Transformative technologies. Now, why is that? Why are they doing that? Is it because they want to improve the standard of living of the 60% of our people?
No, they want to make money. It's not their responsibility to take care of other people, to be honest. If they do that, it's like, it's a great thing if they do, but like, it's not, they want to make money. That's why they're doing it.
Who live paycheck to paycheck, Americans who are struggling to pay for groceries, healthcare, housing, education.
Man, isn't that crazy? Because like, wasn't like, hold on, wait, didn't they have control of like everything for like 4 years? And then like, wasn't Joe Biden like that's crazy. That's so crazy, man. And you telling me it got worse in like that amount in that time that they were off? That's crazy. That's crazy. Because like, wasn't that 2020? Man, it's almost like if you shut down the entire economy, that it fucks everything up. Holy shit. There's no way we could have figured that one out.
Maybe they are staying up nights worrying about the working families of America, but I doubt it. I think it's because investing in AI and robotics will increase their already incredible wealth and power exponentially.
Yeah, because they want money. They want money, and AI and robotics is the next big thing. Again, like computers, like smartphones, like the internet. I don't know if you guys remember, but maybe you don't remember computers. It was kind of a long time ago. But maybe you remember the internet. Maybe you remember when the internet started to become really, really big. And you had all of these companies like really they had the .com boom, right? Everybody was trying to get on the internet. Everyone was investing fuck tons of money into the internet because they knew it was the next big thing. It's literally the next one. Just look back at history, like just a couple years, and you'll see it. You'll see the progression. Computers, internet, smartphones. Now we're like in the next one, basically.
Among other impacts, the artificial intelligence and robotics being developed by these multi-billionaires will allow corporate America to wipe out tens of millions of decent-paying jobs, cut labor costs.
Yeah, we shouldn't have made cars. That would have been really bad because, like, think of all the people that have to like take care of horses and clean up horse shit, and like all the people have to grow hay to like feed the horses. Like, fuck, dude, we shouldn't have. What a tragedy. We shouldn't have done that.
And boost profits. The result, the wealthiest people in the world will get even richer while working families lose their jobs and their income. And unless we act, here is in my...
Guys, I'm old enough to remember when these people were like, when there were people that were like miners, and the miners were like, guys, like our jobs are getting fucked up. Like you're taking all of our jobs with all of your stupid environmental policy. And I'm old enough to remember these fuckers saying, why don't you go learn the code?
My view, I don't claim to have all the answers, but in my view, this is what is likely to happen.
Yeah, learn the prompt, bro. That's right. Learn the prompt.
In the next 10 years. Now, as a member of Congress who vigorously opposed the disastrous trade agreements that decimated communities throughout this country, I, like most Americans, want to see manufacturing rebuilt in the United States of America.
Oh,
but let us
shit.
be clear. New fact.
They're gonna lower some environmental regulations, make it easier to build fucking factories. That's crazy. Really?
Factories won't mean much for working people if the jobs are done by robots instead of human beings. Elon Musk has said he wants Tesla to build millions of robots. And what will these robots do?
Bernie, listen, bro. Bernie, you want communism and UBI? You know that those clankers are your best bet at getting UBI. Bernie, I'm trying to help you, bro. If you want to have UBI, you need lots and lots of clankers. An insane amount of clankers. Once you have so many of them, then you'll get your UBI. But we gotta start now. We gotta start building the clankers now. You know,
Well, obviously, they will replace the men and women working in our factories, warehouses.
yeah, and you get your UBI. You don't do anything, you get paid. Yeah, that's what you want, right?
Restaurants and in other areas. That means millions of good jobs.
What about the what happened to the hold on? What happened to the we need people to do the jobs that nobody wants to do? What happened to that, Bernie? Wait, what happened? Weren't they trying to import people because there were a bunch of like quote unquote shitty jobs that nobody wanted to do? And you're telling me they don't want clankers for that? Man, make it make sense. Make it make sense, chat.
Jobs could disappear. It's not.
What did Chai say? Are you worried about this and not automation and assembly lines? If we all take out the robots out of those, we can hire so many more people. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. This is what happened with automation as far as like robotic arms and stuff like that. Like all of this is already exists basically. There's already like factory lines that are automated by robots. It's already been a thing. Nobody complained about it. Isn't it rich, guys? Isn't it rich how the people who had the smarty pants jobs, like the people that had like the high tech smarty pants jobs, and a lot of these like kind of artistic people that like believe that they were invincible to like this sort of industrialization, that they were invincible to it, and they basically sneered at everybody. All of the like the blue collar people that were like, you know, working with their hands, working a lot of like manual labor type of stuff. All of those people, they sneered at them, they shitted on them, told them to like learn the code, and like, oh my god, they didn't even how the turntables have tabled, you know, like it's crazy.
Very complicated. And of course, it's not just.
They couldn't even fucking possibly imagine that it would come for them first, right? There's no way, because all of like knowledge, all of like history has shown that it's always like the grunt work manual labor people that lose their jobs first, right? This is hitting them first. After all of the learn to code, ha 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 ha. Well, maybe your job's just obsolete now. All of these people, man, how's it fucking feel? Holy shit. Isn't that crazy?
Musk. Amazon, owned by Jeff Bezos, has already laid off 27,000 workers since 2022. The company now has
learn to shovel. Learn to shovel. That's crazy.
More than
And the truth is that if you're like a coder and you're like actually good at coding, you're not gonna lose your job from clankers anytime soon. And even like when it does get to the point where you start losing your job to clankers, the clankers are gonna need somebody to help them get programmed and stuff. So like you'll be fine as long as like you're good. This mostly affects like people that are kind of in the lower skill levels basically, but I mean it's all the more incentive to like kind of brush up, learn the newest technologies. Honestly, like this is actually a huge opportunity for anybody that's like in the kind of and I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen. I can give some examples, but I've seen this happen where a new coding language comes out, and if you're a programmer, you know what I'm talking about. But like there'll be like some new architecture, some new programming thing that comes out, and it basically makes it so that the absolute worst, like the kind of entry level programmers, they can like say, oh, look at that new thing that came out, let me learn that, and then everyone wants to fucking hire them because they know that new thing that like nobody knows, the thing that's not taught in school, nobody knows about it, and then all of a sudden like boom, here's like a 6-figure salary because like nobody else knows how to do it. I saw this happen with Ruby on Rails. People went fucking crazy on that shit. Like people were making so much money. Like from like not even knowing how to program to making fuck tons of money, making like 5-6 digit incomes because of it.
1 million robots working in its warehouses, and soon these robots will outnumber human workers in Amazon facilities. In 2016, Foxconn, the massive manufacturing contractor for companies like Apple and Google, replaced 60,000 workers in a single huge factory in China with robots. Now,
and Ruby is mostly gone now. Yeah, you have to keep up, right? Like you keep going, basically. And this is like one thing I think a lot of people have trouble with. So some people in their whatever their field is, right? They get complacent, or they're like, oh, you know, I went to college, I know all this shit, I know like the current thing, I'm fine now. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm just gonna coast like the rest of my life. If you want to keep relevant, you have to keep learning. When you get out of school, you get out of training, you get out of university, it doesn't mean that you stop learning. You always be learning. Always be learning, always keep on top. And that's how you keep, you gotta, okay guys, let me explain this to you like really easy, okay? If you play like an RTS game, okay? And you never, and so you tech up and then now you're winning because you teched up and now like your tech is super good and all you do is pump units and attack and you never like tech up again, eventually you're gonna get out teched and then you're gonna lose. It's the same thing, basically. You have to always tech up. The entire game, you just always tech up. Whenever you can, you throw some resources into it. You have like an hour to spare, learn a new skill. And you just do this all the time. And it's how like you increase your market value.
The company is planning fully automated factories. And just a few months ago, Foxconn CEO Young Liu predicted that artificial intelligence will make it unnecessary for large corporations to outsource jobs to low-wage countries. You know why? Because robots will be doing most of the manufacturing
wait, what's
work.
The point? Wait, hold on.
However, it is...
Wait, what's his point? Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Am I reading into this too much? Or is he literally saying like, yo, we need to keep paying those guys low wages? Is he saying it out loud? Well, damn.
It's not just manufacturing jobs at risk. Most of us want to see the United States develop a strong, clean, and efficient transportation system, including the production of millions of new cars, buses, and trucks.
Dude, I don't want to fucking hear shit from them after all of this. We're gonna build the bullet train from San Francisco to Los Angeles and then to Las Vegas. We need all this money, guys, and then nothing ever happened. I haven't even seen any of it. I haven't seen a single fucking bullet train. I don't want to fucking hear it from these people.
But if Musk and others...
Paulo, thank you so much for the bits. What do you see in the world when things are most automated? What jobs will be available for humans to pick up that robotics can't do efficiently? If UBI is going to become an eventuality, then what else could we do besides living on UBI? Well, I mean, eventually, I don't know how... Again, this is speculation because I don't know what the future holds, right? But like, if we ever get to like a fucking Star Trek age when like the necessities for life, like we're not really living in like a scarce resource world, then I mean things would be different, right? That would change. You know, I'm guys, listen, I'm not retarded enough to be like UBI always bad. Like I don't like UBI right now, but I don't know. Maybe in the future it's gonna be the thing that we need to do. Right. And I think a lot of people get kind of stuck on their like they get stuck on their beliefs and they don't change it like when the context changes, right? So it's kind of like it kind of depends. And it depends on like where like if we can replicate, if we could press a button and make like food and it becomes kind of a society where you're pursuing art and stuff like that. But that's like so far away. Like we're not even, what are we even talking about? Like you're not even that close to that, right? But in order to get there, we do need what we would need to achieve to get to a point where UBI actually makes sense. You would need to get to a point where everyday resources are no longer scarce. There's no longer like scarcity of resources. So having a bunch of robots that can fuel themselves and then gather shit for us is the best way to get that, basically. And then maybe we reach like a philosophical, artistic society. Like, who knows? I don't know. We're too far from it for it to really matter that much. It's all very theoretical at this point. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, my views on stuff, like my views on like having a a UBI system or a sort of socialistic system, it could change based on like what the resources look like, right? So I mean, it kind of depends, and like it would only be for certain things. Like I think governing is kind of a mix. It's kind of a mix of like some, like there are things that are like socialistic and there's things that are like more free market, right? It's a kind of mix of both, and it just kind of depends on the thing, depends on the time, it depends on like the resources, right? So like again, if you could spawn in, if you had like an infinite cheat where you could just spawn in everything, then yeah, I would change my mind about things, right? Like I'll give you a good example, right? So right now, like my take on healthcare and like I don't think we should be giving free healthcare to illegals, or not just illegals, but just like people in general, right? Because again, it's a finite resource, right? But it's kind of like, what if we lived in a world where that was an infinite resource? Then like, who cares then, right? Like whoever gets it, who cares, right? It's like, sure, if a person has like an issue in Mexico and they need like our help, but we have infinite meds, then like, sure, why not? Who cares, right? But again, like it depends on the situation.
Get their way. Those vehicles won't be operated by truck drivers, bus drivers, or taxi drivers. They will be driverless vehicles. Millions of jobs in transportation.
There's another factor to that, though, which is very important to me. And here's where I would stand my ground on it, is that say we did have infinite meds and another country asked us for some meds, and we would only give it to them if we want to. And if we do give it to them, it's because we're nice, basically. Like they don't deserve it from us, basically, in my opinion.
Will be eliminated. This is not science fiction. It's already happening. FedEx is using driverless trucks to haul heavy loads along
maybe
I-45 corridor between Dallas and Houston through a company called Aurora. Walmart is using autonomous trucks for short-haul deliveries in Arkansas through a company called Gatic. Kodiak Robotics has partnered with IKEA to conduct driverless deliveries in Texas. Waymo is operating self-driving cabs in Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Austin.
You want to know another point where they're kind of inconsistent in this? Because I always hear this point from leftists. If it can even save one life, then that's all that matters. But like, you don't want self-driving cars? Wouldn't that, you know how many people die from car accidents? Wouldn't it be crazy if like nobody would die from a car accident? There's like no consistency, man. There's just none. It's so annoying.
You all want to see more startup companies and small businesses. But for workers, that will mean very little if half of all white-collar entry-level jobs are...
Also, now you care. Because it's white-collar, now you care. All right, I see.
...eliminated over the next 5 years. And that is exactly what has been predicted by Dario Amodei, the founder of Anthropic, one of the leading AI companies in the world. As the ranking member of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, I just released a report finding that AI, automation, and robotics could replace nearly 100 million jobs in America over the next decade, including 40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers, 64%.
Guys, I don't understand this. Hold on. So you want to give people free shit, but you don't want more generation of shit? I'm so confused. How does this work?
65% of teaching assistants, and 89% of fast food workers, among many other occupations. And as bad as that may seem, I'm afraid it could be an underestimate. In June, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, predicted that AI could eliminate, quote, literally half of all white-collar jobs in the U.S., end quote, within the next decade. That's Jim Farley, Ford. Elon Musk said this year that as a result of AI and robotics, quote, probably none of us will have a job. If you want a job, that's kind of like a hobby. You can do a job. But otherwise, AI and robotics will provide any goods and services you want, end of quote.
But But you don't, wait. What? Wait, you don't want that? I thought you were a commie.
Earlier this year, Bill Gates predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things, end quote, such as manufacturing products, delivering packages, or growing food over the next decade due to AI. So, my friends, here is a rather big question. If Musk and Gates and others are only half right in their predictions, what happens to the tens of millions of Americans who no longer have employment because they can't find jobs that don't exist?
Well, what happens then is that the world keeps turning, and new jobs related to those openings will begin to exist.
In this brave new world, how do these Americans pay for healthcare, food, housing, and the other necessities of life? But it's not just economics.
Yeah, it's just like every other time before that everything has ever happened like this. Like, I don't know why everyone's so surprised about this. Like, this has happened forever. And like, we might look back on something like a factory, right? We might look at a factory or an assembly line or a car or a ship or a plane. We might look at those things and be like, yeah, whatever. That's like kind of, okay, but you have to understand that back in the day, those were world-changing things. Like even the automobile was an insane thing. Because before you needed a fucking horse. Electricity was an insane thing. Back then you had to there were candle makers. You had to like do the candle. You had to do like the street lights. You'd have like gas setups. You'd have to have somebody like walk up there and like light the fucking lamp. That's where the term gaslighting comes from, by the way. You had to have people do all that stuff. And now all of that is gone. And it's changed into other things. Back in and again, you could keep going. There used to be people that had to do things by hand. There were people that were good at books. They were good at like organizing books, like knowing where to find everything, writing everything down on paper. And now everyone has computers, so you don't have to do it anymore. This has always happened, and they've never cared about it until now. See, that's where I'm sus. That's the part right there that I'm sus. Because it makes sense to me that people would be worried about this kind of a thing, right? But what makes me sus about the whole thing is how little they cared about all of this. Again, the sneering, the joking, the smugness. That's all we got from them. And oh shit, now it's coming for us too. Now they're fucking upset about it. It's so fucking fake.
Work, whether being a janitor or a brain surgeon, is an integral part of being a human being. The vast majority of people want to be productive members of society and contribute
I don't agree with that.
to their communities.
Nope.
What happens when that vital aspect of human existence is removed from our lives? Further, and now we get into some pretty deep stuff, the rapid developments in AI will likely have a profoundly dehumanizing impact on all of us. Mm-hmm. In many ways, it will actually redefine what it means to be human, fundamentally alter our relationships to each other and the very nature of what we call society. Can AI and robotics be of help to us in many ways? Absolutely. I believe they can. I am not a Luddite. The goal, however, is to make sure that the new technologies being developed serve human needs and not just further enrich a small number of multi-billionaires. We do not simply need a more efficient...
There's actually a lot of ways in which, so in some ways AI does benefit billionaires more in that they can afford, so for rich people, AI helps them more because they can invest more money into it. So it's great for them for that. And I guess you could replace people that like aren't as good at their job as well. However, you also have to think about this from the other side, in that this helps people that are poor an insane amount. Like it buffs people to be able to do things and having like a wingman that you can like ask like to take care of like stupid shit for you. That's like kind of whatever. Like for instance, what's a good one? I like to brainstorm with AI. That's like one thing I like to do. That's not really a good example. That's gonna be too complicated to explain that. But for instance, if you didn't have money for a personal trainer, but you could get an AI to do that for you, then if you're like a poor person, then having access to that is like huge, right? Like it's a massive buff. Or like say you need help with like some kind of dietary thing, and you're like, well, is there something I can cook like with these things? The AI can help you with that. And these are just like kind of stupid examples, but I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's a lot of ways that, or like organizing things. Oh, I have a question about like this. I have a question about this specific thing. Can you like look up information for me? No, of course you have to check it yourself, right? I mean, you know, it's kind of a skill issue if you just trust the AI 100% and you don't like double check it. But knowing like where to start is huge. And so anyway, so people that don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of access to this stuff, it helps them do a lot of it helps them be more creative, helps them to perform their function a lot easier. So like for instance, right? Like if I were rich and I wanted to make like my music video, right? If I were rich, I would have the money to hire the people to sing it. I would have the money to hire the people to make that. I would have the money to hire the camera crew, the studio, the animation. I would have money to hire all of those people. But I'm not super rich, so I don't have that. And I'm able to like kind of create stuff outside of that. And now everybody has that capability too.
Society. We need a world where people live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. So where do we go from here? And again, I don't have all of the answers. But here are just a few ideas as to how, in my view, the advances in technology can benefit ordinary Americans and not just multi-billionaires. First,
it does.
We must move to a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay. Think about it. Today, American workers are 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s when the 40-hour work week was first established. Artificial intelligence and robotics will greatly increase that productivity. Workers,
if that's the case, then it'll be like the natural result of it. There's no need to force it.
Must benefit from that increased output through
I hate the government deciding themselves what people's transactions can be. It's so fucking annoying. Like, it's irritating. Like if I want to work more than 32 hours and I want to get paid more because I want to work more than 32 hours, then I should be able to do that. Think of it on the flip side. He's telling you that you can't work more than that.
Shorter work week, a 32-hour work week with no loss in pay would be a major step forward in improving
I'm not a big fan of the government.
Of life for millions of Americans. Second, we must require large corporations to allow...
He's trying to dictate basically what people... He's trying to dictate value, essentially. He like, oh, I think that 32 hours of work globally is worth this amount. It's like, who the fuck are you to determine that?
Workers to elect at least 45% of the members of their boards of directors, similar to what already... We must require large corporations to allow workers to elect at least 45% of the members of...
So you're telling me if I start a business and I hire people that my workers can undermine me by hiring like by forcing somebody into a position of power over me? When I'm the one who started the business, I put the money in, I put in the time to build the business up. And you're telling me that like some random dude that I don't even talk to has the ability to undermine me?
But you can't do this to me.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
God, guys, commies are retarded. Like
their boards of directors, similar to what already takes place in Germany. Workers need a seat at the table to best determine how AI is used in their companies. If Tesla workers were on...
No, I get to decide. I made the company. I get to decide how I use AI for it.
On their corporate board, I doubt very much that they would be rewarding Elon Musk with $1 trillion pay package.
What's so annoying about these people, this is the government in general. You create stuff of your own hands, like the fruits of your own labor. And you're like, they want to control what you can do with it when they had fucking nothing to do with it at all. They're coming in like they're like a bossy crackhead backseat driver. That's what they are.
Third, we must greatly increase profit sharing at our nation's largest corporations. In my view, workers should receive at least 20% of the stock in companies they work for.
Nope. If I want to give them that, then I can give them that. And by the way, guys, I'm not in principle against giving people this stuff. I'm not in principle against like, okay, you know what, this person who like, you know, this person who everybody likes, and he's in charge of saying, you know what, I'm gonna promote him to like work with me because I think he's great. I'm not against that. I'm not against giving stocks to employees if I think they deserve it. In fact, giving incentive to employees is a good thing, actually. But what I'm against is them forcing me to do it because it's my choice if I want to do it. If I want to give somebody who works with me, and I'm like, you've been really good. I want to give you a percentage of like what we made because you are valuable to the company. That's my choice. If I want to give people a Christmas bonus, that's my choice. If I want to pay people this amount of money, that's my choice. And it's the other person's choice too, because they can say, you know what, fuck you, Leaflit. Fuck you, you don't pay me enough. I'm like, all right, fair enough. I don't have the money. Sorry, man. That's my choice and the other person's choice. I don't like the government going and sticking their dick in everything.
Corporate profits should not just be going to enrich wealthy stockholders and the billionaires who own them. Fourth, we need to substantially expand the concept of employee ownership in America.
You want to know how you can do that? Just make your own fucking company. If it's that easy, you go fucking do it.
Workers.
If the boss, if the business creator does nothing, then you fucking do it then. Why aren't you doing it? If it's so easy and you're exploiting everybody for your own gain, then why the fuck aren't you doing it?
Own their own businesses and are more involved in the decision.
I hear this all the time too from people like, oh, shut up, content creator. Like, you go stream. Like, so easy to stream. If it's so easy, then why the fuck are you working at McDonald's? Fucking do it then. Stop being a bitch and do it.
Making processes, they will make choices that benefit everyone in the company, not just the people on top. Fifth, instead of providing billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax on large corporations and use that.
What? You a clanker tax?
Businesses and are more involved in the decision-making processes. They will make choices that benefit everyone in the company, not just the people on top.
Holy shit.
Fifth, instead of providing billions of dollars in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax on large corporations and use that revenue to improve the lives of workers who have been harmed in
the fucking clanker
this transition. Bottom line, AI and robotics will bring a profound transformation to our country. Nobody denies that.
Holy shit.
In my view, we must fight to make sure that these changes benefit.
Dude, every time I hear a commie talk, bro, like every single time, it's just like blah, 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 blah. They just like say like nice things all the time. Oh my God. And the people, workers' rights. I believe everyone deserves prosperity. They just say all this fucking bullshit. All this unrealistic bullshit. It's so annoying. Every time, it's so annoying.
All of us, and not just a handful of billionaires. Let the debate begin, and we need your participation. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, dude. I don't think he's a billionaire. If anything, though, I respect the consistency. Okay, I respect the full commie consistency at least. It's just like typical commie annoying shit. It's really simple, basically. It's people that a lot of times people will talk about people who are more free market in the way that they don't care about people. It's more that we don't want the government telling us because we don't want the government telling us because we think like they think that they know better about how to like run our business, and it's really annoying. And like I have nothing against a company that is like, okay, bros, we're gonna be like totally like a worker-owned co-op, man, and like everyone that works here, like every fucking employee is gonna get like a fucking piece of the company, bro. And like I don't care if they want to do that, then that's fine. That's up to them to do it. My problem is when the government is telling people that they have to do it that way. Leaf is almost in top farmers secret how to wake up all the way. I don't know. I just got like my brain like blasted by fucking Bernie Sanders retarded shit. People are free to do what they want with their own property. Yeah, that's exactly our point. By the way, that's the conservative point in general, usually. At least like the kind of more libertarian side of things. There's like the general gist of it is that we don't want the government fucking telling us what to do. And you know, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Like obviously, like you can go into how we believe that it's actually better for people in general, because it's better for society in general, and it will create a situation. Like I'll give you a good example. Okay, I'll give you a good example. So in America, there's poor people, right? Right, chat. There's poor people, right? But think about the living conditions a poor person has in America. Okay, consider that for a bit. And you might like imagine yourself right now if you aren't poor. If you aren't poor, like just look. If you are poor, look around. I've been there. But if you know you aren't poor, imagine yourself in what you would consider to be like a poor living conditions, right? Now picture that, but somewhere else in the world. Now you live in a mud hut. You want water? The well's 2 miles that way. Mr. Beast was gonna come here and build a well, but they bitched him out, so he's gone now. Now I gotta walk 2 miles to get my fucking water, right? So think of it like that, right? The idea is that there's always gonna be poor people because that's life. Life is not equal, basically. There is a series of work, strategy, luck, all of it plays together, right? It's a series of you get the hand that's dealt to you, you do the best that you can with it, right? Because what can you do other than that, right? So the idea is that even the poor people would have better living conditions than other places. That's the idea, basically. The idea is that you create so much through capitalism, through free markets, you create so much that even the low-level care is good. Does that make sense? Through the innovation, development, efficiency, you create a situation where even somebody who has nothing can buy something for $1 from Walmart. That's the idea. U.S. poor actually have it better than standard of living than old kings. Yeah, exactly. I just think the government fucks up anything it touches. It's actually crazy.
I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30.